So a couple weeks ago, I discovered something that a lot of golfers have known for quite some time. Vice Golf makes a really good golf ball, and earlier this year they launched golf clubs, a full range of really good looking irons, drivers, putters, wedges, everything. Right there in my golf bag, I have the VGD01 Plus driver to test and review, and I want to find out if they can make a driver that is as good as this golf ball, or is it just another kind of mediocre DTC cash grab driver that you should avoid and stick with the OEMs when it comes to trusting your T-ball out there on the golf course. So enough talk, let's get into it. So the VGD01 Plus, the Vice Golf Driver 1 Plus, the low spin head, it's funky looking. It's definitely funky looking with this carbon pattern crown. Minimal but busy on the bottom. Looks are fine. I've got a elevated Link Q UST Mamiya Link Red shaft in here. A little lower spinning option. I mean, let's just hit it. Let's just hit it. It looks fine. That pattern's different. Wow. That was okay. I mean, 2,600 RPM spin on a range ball. That's low spin for a fade, launching 12. That was nice. That felt better than what I expected a DTC $400 driver to feel like. Off the toe, that's probably got no spin, but that launched well. 2,100 spin for a range ball. They say it's low spinning. That's low spinning, my gosh. But the launch is good, wow. The Vice grip, when I opened it out of the box, felt pretty bad. Now that it's breathed and I've hit it literally a couple times, it feels better than straight out of the box. Straight out of the box, it felt really garbage. It feels good once you start swinging it. So that launched higher, probably a little more spin. 2,600 on a range ball. Launch was higher. Ball speed's a little lower, but the launch is a little higher and the spin is lower and the ball speed's lower. Like they kind of level out compared to closer to the 170 that I live with my gamer. Well, let's see if we can hit this hard and what happens. I mean, we know the Link shaft is really good. I've never hit the red before, but this feels just as good as white and black and blue that I've hit. Let's hit this thing hard and see what kind of ball speed we can get. Off the toe, so the ball speed will be down, but gosh, that's straight. 171 ball speed, okay. Wow. Wow. Holy shit. Pardon my French, but wow, my goodness. I did not expect this to be good. To be fair, I expected it to be like okay. This is better than okay. Wow. That was a bad swing, but it like hung on and then came back. 1,900 spin. It is low spinning, that's for sure. And I think this shaft that I have in here, it's not the Vice shaft made by Aldila. I feel like that shaft probably would match this head a little bit more to get a bit more spin. But for me, it's low spinning, but the launch is fine. Let's hit one more and then really dive into the numbers inside in the studio. Off the toe, but it didn't dive. Wasn't a great shot, but it didn't dive. 1,200 spin with a range ball. Yeah, carries low. Ball speed's up though, but I like that because I don't want to hit it left. I hit that off the toe and it didn't go like that. Let's go to the studio and really let's dig deeper into these numbers. So before we go into the studio, I want to talk about a very important piece of equipment that always stays in my golf bag, and that's sunscreen. Particle invisible sunscreen, to be exact. A new sunscreen I've been using that I'm very, very impressed with. Particle is a brand that specifies in men's grooming products. So this is a sunscreen that is meant for men's skin. It's designed to work perfectly with our skin, and it's an invisible sunscreen, so it just pops out like this. You don't see it. Very easy to apply. No film on the hands afterwards. I do it before I leave the house in the morning. And then during the round, just pop on a little bit more because I don't want skin cancer. I'm 41 years old. I've been on a golf course since I was 10. And my parents always stressed the importance of sunscreen, and I've always sprayed it on. But over time, those sprays ruin golf shirts. They're big for the golf bag, but this, small for the golf bag, sits in the cart very easy as a nice reminder. I can't stress how important that that is. And if you use the link down below, you're gonna save 20% with the code Andrew20 if you're more a memory person. But seriously, it's invisible sunscreen. No film. I could go grab a golf club right now and hit it. This SPF 40 on my ears, nose, all these sensitive areas. It's covered. Particle, thank you for the sunscreen and thank you for sponsoring this video. So check it out, that link below, Andrew20 Particle Invisible Sunscreen.
Well, right from the box, it did what it said it's gonna do. It launched high, it spun really low, and the ball speed was pretty fast. I've got no complaints. Like, straight as it comes, 9 degrees, no tweaking. A very good first impression of this VGD01 Plus, the refined German engineering. So speaking of that German engineering, let's take a closer look at the nuts and bolts, what makes this driver tick.
So taking a closer look at the VGD01 Plus, this is the lower spinning of Vice's 2 driver options. There's not a lot of detail about the tech on their website. Beyond, it's an ultra lightweight head meant for high ball speed, and it's going to create high launch and low spin for a penetrating flight with optimal rollout. That's kind of all the details we get. We learn about the tech in a 4-degree loft sleeve, which is pretty minimal. Then the minimal is kind of gone from there. It's quite busy. We see a Vice logo, a V, a Vice logo, a Vice logo. They're not short on branding. This laser grid face, I haven't found any information on what it does other than looking cool and also just kind of like a confidence inspiring look behind the ball. They say there's a triple alignment aid, which I'm guessing is the Vice logo and the 2 lines, which is meant to give you confidence and accuracy. The carbon crown, definitely busy, but that's going to help that lighter weight in the club head. Removable weight here, 12 grams, but I can't find anything on their site to get like a weight kit. But the 12 grams in the back obviously increases the launch a little bit and the spin a little bit to offset just how low spinning the head is. It looks good, it sounds good, but you can't get a lot of information about the tech on it beyond it's fast and low spinning and high launching and German engineered.
Not a lot of information we get on the website about the German engineering of the driver, but the performance on first impression was there. But obviously we got to dive a little bit deeper. So I brought it in here into the studio, 10 drivers, no trimming the fat, 10 drives in a row. Let's see if that performance and consistency we saw in the first 5 drivers translated to a bigger sample set here in the studio. 10 drives, 9 degrees. So we see an interesting flight pattern. Obviously, it dove a little left on me, but generally speaking, for 10 shots, pretty solid flight pattern, launch, consistency. Obviously, the dispersion isn't as refined, but that would come with a bit more time and a bit more maybe dialing or practice. Then we look at the numbers. The numbers are really good. The launch that I saw out in the range, I saw here in the studio, a really consistent launch. Not a lot of spin, 1700, 1500, 1900, like probably the lowest spinning driver head I've hit in some years. But the launch offsets that. So that the overall carry is really good for the lower spin. And I've always been a player that fights too much spin. It's not launching crazy high, it's spinning low. The ball speed is lower. We saw it sneak up out on the range, and it sneaks up a little bit here. But the ball speed averaging around 167, that's 3 miles slower than what I think I average with my current gamer or some of the other drivers I've tested this year. But the carry is higher, but that's obviously less spin, higher launch. I mean, at the end of the day, the distance that this driver is giving me, in spite of a lower, slower ball speed, no complaints. It's low spinning, lower spinning, but it's launching high. It's just impressive stuff. Like, so an average of 21, 117.5 club head speed. Generally, when I'm testing drivers or balls, we're living at like 118. We dive a little deeper into some of the shots I hit, like shots 5, 6, 7, all carrying over 305 yards, but the spin is low. The spin is all under or right around 2,000 RPM, but the launch is high to offset it. And then I got to see some higher spin a little later in the testing, where I heeled one, shot 8. So the carry comes down, the launch stayed the same, the smash, the ball speed was good for a heel, but 2,900. So when it's mishit, it did what it should do. And you saw it out on the range, that kind of toe one that spun 1,200. It did what it's supposed to do. So the consistency across the face, the performance across the face, is there, and it happened where I hit it. It did what it was supposed to do, but I never saw it spin over 3,000 RPM in any of the testing. Like, these are the first 10 I hit, but then I've hit more in here. Never seen it spin over 3,000 RPM, no matter how much I came up and out of it. That performance is as good as anything from an OEM that I've tested in the last few years. And the feel is just as good. I like the carbon influence in drivers these days. And my goodness, that punchy, solid feel, it doesn't feel like a tinny, crappy, cheap DTC driver. This feels like a well-engineered and designed driver. Like, yeah, really, really good. Like, I feel like there's no tweaking I need to do to go out and play with this. A driver can perform well in the studio or on the range, but if it doesn't work on the golf course, it's not worth going in your golf bag. So it's time to go play 18 holes with it. I played one of the harder golf courses in Jacksonville. Tim McQuan, I was playing the Furyk and Friends Media Day, and I took this driver out, and I got to say, I didn't miss a beat. This did everything I wanted it to do. I hit one left on a bad swing, like literally my second hole. Everything else was just a high, towery fade. And if I had to turn it, I couldn't really turn it, which is fine, but I could hit it straight. Like when I tried to hit a draw on a couple of the holes that moved left, I just smashed it straight up the left side. It was one of the better driving performances I've had all year. I played really well because I was in position the whole day. I hit some close wedges. I made some birdies. I played well. I scored well, but I was never out of position. One time I came up and out of it a little bit. Yeah, I lost a few yards because it was a little into the wind and it's fun too much, but I was just in the rough. I hit a lot of greens. I made a lot of birdies, but I couldn't have done that if it wasn't for just how well I was driving the golf ball. The look, I don't love the crown, but the alignment, the laser grid, the triple alignment thing, whatever they're calling it, it was confidence inducing. It definitely was. The feel was as good as my gamer. I could keep this in the bag because it's long. Even though it spins less, the launch for me was so good. I was so thoroughly impressed with this driver. For whatever the price, basically $500 all in with the $50 shaft upgrade, compared to this version of an OEM would be $700-800. Like in any low spin head, it'd be $700-800. No difference. The performance, wow, like so good. I have nothing but high praise for this driver, and I would imagine if you need a little spin, the non-plus head would be perfect for you. The look, I don't think is for everyone. It's definitely modern and new and fresh. I got used to it. I could keep looking at it, but it's not my first choice for what I want to look down at. But performance, feel, performance, distance make the look not matter because the head shape's great. It's just the crown. I digress. This driver is so good. The golf ball impressed me a great deal. I used it in that round too. That was my first 18 holes with that Pro Plus after testing it. It did what I wanted it to do. But the driver, this is a serious contender for the best driver I've hit this year. So let me know, do you want to see a year-end driver showdown? Do you use a Vice driver? Are you considering a Vice driver? Sound off in those comments below, and we will see you in the next video. Peace.